Okay, so hello and welcome everyone. I gotta get these messages. Ooh, it's like a lot of pressure in my head. It feels like it feels like sexual pressure. So it's just giving me like sexual chemistry. The sexual chemistry between you and somebody else is just off the roof. I gotta open up a window because I feel a little suffocated too. Oh, wait a minute. Let me see. Okay. Yeah. So it's kind of like once this person get a taste of you or you get a taste of this other person, it's kind of like somebody gonna have to set some boundaries. But usually in the beginning, when you first meet somebody, when you're excited about them and you have a good time with them, they're a good conversation, they're caring, compassionate, nurturing, firm, honest, open, vulnerable. Ooh, okay. So I feel somebody coming in. Somebody coming in. Okay. Ooh. Hold on. The person, you or somebody else, you are just extremely attracted to, somebody is attracted to your mind, or you are extremely attracted to somebody else's mind. So this is definitely given like a sapiosexual. So, when it comes to sapiosexuals, it's hard. When it comes to lust, it's hard because it's not just about the physical. You know what I'm saying? There's so much more mental stimulation that a sapiosexual needs. And my thing is, what I've noticed about sapiosexual is that it's all in the imagination. Sapiosexual, it's like they love the vision of you. They love to visualize you. They love to imagine you. And for some people, the imagination of you is enough for them, right? But just like I'm experiencing all this pressure within my head, this pressure it can trigger your mind. It can trigger a lot of your thoughts and it can become very scary. Imagination is a very beautiful and powerful tool to have, but it can be very dangerous too. Okay. So, Hooja, it's like this person, they love who you are. They love the way that you think. It may be getting to a point to where it's like, oh my God, I'm tired of being in my head about this person. Like I have to have this person, I have to reach out to this person, I have to talk to this person. Okay. You see, with some people is such a bigger picture to who they are. And in order to see that picture, there has to be distance. Because let's say if you ran into this person, if you met this person within your physical reality, you're not going to see the whole of who they are. Intuitively, there's going to be this knowing that this person is so much more, but you're not going to be able to see it. For some of us, for some people, seeing is not enough. No, I'm going to say knowing is not enough. Intuition is not enough. People need results. I'm real big on faith building. So, I be trying to cut through the illusion immediately with getting people to understand that seeing is not believing, but seeing is very balanced. That brings the harmony, it brings the confirmation, and human beings are not created without fear. So that is something in which that helps individuals like kill that fear. What you think that you're afraid of is false. It looks like something you should be afraid of, but in reality, it's nothing you should be afraid of. You understand what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's like, ooh, this person, it's like, I feel like for a man, once you have this woman, it's like you want her to be in your kingdom. It's like you don't want her to go nowhere, like you may have to go to work in the morning, but it's like when you get off, you want to come home to her, you want to see her in your house, and you want to see her content and comfortable. You want to see her in a t-shirt and some panties, sitting on the couch, eating some popcorn or something, waiting for you to come home. Okay, like you want to see her, It's kind of like you have a garden, and now you have this new, bush or flower. So, it's very smitten, and it's very exciting. Like, oh, I have something new and exciting to look forward to, within my life. It just, it sparks a passion for life. Okay? It sparks a passion for life. So let's just jump into it. I got these big pussy energy cards. It is to empower feminine energy, male or woman, it doesn't matter. Okay. So what are the messages for the big pussy energy oracle card? This is just how we can empower more of that feminine energy, or quote unquote stabilize it. Okay. So what are the messages? What are the messages? What are the messages? So I'm picking up on the colors pink and purple. Pink is going to represent sexuality. Purple is going to represent that Ajna chakra. So that's going to represent harmony. Okay. I feel like if you're a man, there's just, it's not that you need a lot. It's just that, I mean, you're not an easy man. So you may be like picky or something. It may be hard for you to satisfy, for you to be, I don't know. There's something going on. You're a lot to handle. And it's like most of your sexual preference cannot keep up without being overstimulated, we'll say. Okay. Okay, so you got sneaky pussy in reverse. So you may have been dealing with somebody. Okay, so you have pussy service, big pussy energy, letting go ritual, and I'm going to pull one more, big pussy clarity. Okay. So there's something going on when it comes to pussy service. This is the solar plex. So as a man, you heal the wound. And I'm gonna tell you, it don't matter if you're gay, if you're bisexual. I have a lot of gay friends, and everybody, people's personality are different. Like, well, not my gay friends. They don't like pussy. But there are some men, some friends that I have to where they're bisexual. But even with some of my gay friends, it's kind of like, well, I'm still a man, bitch. You know what I'm saying? And if I want some pussy, then I can have some pussy if that's what I want. You know. So it's really giving androgynous. Ooh, thank you. Okay, so I mean, if you a man, you be making people head spin, because it's like they can't keep up. Like, what are you? You know what you are. You know who you are. You know what you like. Whatever. So, but when it comes to some of my friends, the bisexual ones, I'm trying to tell you, they be healing these wounds. you know Wrap it up. What's the problem? Wrap it up. Wrap it up. Let go. Stop trying to be so controlling. Stop trying to. So I'm talking to individuals, because people have taken notice to this man. And I mean, it's people are, this man has good energy, and people are trying to transfer their energy. It's kind of like he's so healing. You know what I mean? It's like he's so healing, and it's kind of like they're saying, well, stop being so healing. Like, hold on, like, wait, I don't know how to explain that shit. It's crazy. So the feminine energy is serving. So you're doing some type of, I don't want to say spiritual work. It's spiritual or it's creative. It's not something worldly. Okay, so the creator within you, within whatever you do, you are providing a service of some sort. Okay, independent contractor. I do pick up something here strongly about independent contracting. Okay, so with the purple, that's the letting go, and that is the clarity. So this has a lot to do with the Ajna chakra, which has a lot to do with innocence. Okay, also being able to see, this is where the strongness of the sapiosexual appears the most, right? Somebody can see through your innocence. Okay, you are protecting, there's something very dangerous that is protecting your innocence, which is your demons. So I'm gonna tell you, hold on. I had to close the door. What's going on? Okay, so so you're very pure and you're very innocent. So I'm just gonna tell you straight up, what you're hiding is that you have like a very strong lusty demon, but you got that motherfucker tamed because people would never be able to tell, you know. And even when they try to trigger you in that way, you know, try to, that's why you're so good at temptation, you know, because it's kind of like, you know, they think that they got something for you. And it's just like, oh, baby, do I have something for you? You understand what I'm saying? So, somebody done found your secret. Somebody done figured that shit out. But I feel like they're so intrigued because it's just like, how do you have such a powerful, monstrous beast, but you have that motherfucker tamed? Like, nobody would ever know. And then it's kind of like the toxic aspect of yourself works for you because it's protecting your innocence. So somebody done figured out your secret. You know, they thought, you know, they're thinking like maybe you got a low sex drive or some shit, or maybe they, you know, this person, they thinking that they gonna be too much for you. I don't know. Maybe you meant to match. You understand what I'm saying? It's a match. Because this person is buku crazy. They're just like, oh my God, this is my person. This person can't keep up with me. They haven't even experienced you, but they know. Because they, you know, they found your secret. Mm. Well, how they find that secret? There's something here about honesty and authenticity. Okay, so we started off with the sneaky pussy in reverse. You know, it's kind of like, that's what I'm saying. Somebody be dealing with people to where people be all talk, but they don't be about it. And then when they experience somebody who is about it, it's kind of like they get freaked out or they get scared or it's too much. You know, it's kind of like the sneaky pussy trying to make it seem like she or he, whoever, they trying to make it seem like they about that, but they was put to the test, honey. They not about that. I feel like they ran away, you know, because they was trying to make it seem, like I said, they was trying to make themselves seem like something that they won't. So mm, mm. Ooh, child. They said take a drink. They said take a drink because that motherfucker got stamina. Ooh, they said it's time to celebrate. Thank you. Thanks to the ancestors. Watch out, Maze. Okay, okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now the thing is that one person is kind of like who hold on, Maze. I'm sorry. Hold on. It's like whoever is tame, the other person is just like, oh my God, there's so much that I could learn from you. There's something that I could learn from you. Like, I would never know. I would never guess. Because this person is kind of like the sexuality just oozes off of them. You know, they know that they have a problem with the lust. And it's not something that they're proud of. But they met somebody who also struggles with the same thing as them, and they see that that person, it's kind of like, damn, you would never be able to tell, you would never be able to know. Even with the times of temptation, you're not faced. You know, like, how are you doing that shit? Like, how is this happening? Like, what do you do? Like, who are you? Right? So it's kind of like they're starting to see that the two of you are reflections of each other. So, you know, this person, they want to learn, you know, they want to learn too. Okay? Mm. Let's take another. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. So celebrate good times. Come on, because it's coming. What are the messages? Oh, insightful ass. People got secrets because it's a secret. Oh, curious cat. Somebody a curious little kitty. Okay, so we about to get to these subconscious oracles for the healing. What are you unaware of? What are you unaware of? Perception in reverse. So there's nothing that you aren't aware of at this time. Okay, so there you understand that you have the perception, the yin and the yang. There is no separation. It is empowerment. So through the way in which that you perceive, how you create your way of perceiving is empowerment. So it's kind of like somebody realizes, man, it's really all about perception. Yes, it is. But at the same time, being balanced and harmonized within your perception as well. You know, when it comes to the spiritual community, we talk about good and evil. Yes, you know, that's one level of perception. But when you begin to evolve, you begin to see how, you know, you can use everything. You know, it's like coming up with ways and ideas as to how everybody can win and benefit in the situation. We don't have to have winners. We don't have to have losers. We can just have a whole bunch of harmonized vibrations. You know, being able to balance out life. So we're going to get into your higher intuitions, whatever your higher self wants to communicate to you. But I don't know. Okay, so you have fertility. I didn't think that your higher self would have anything. Okay, so you real fertile. Okay, you have some type of abundance that's about to come up in here too. Okay, so I heard we took, hey, that's crazy because there's 3 turtles in here. I took 3 sips. Okay. so it's like you about to cash in 3 ways. Okay, so this could be anonymous. You're gonna receive like anonymous cash flows. You know, you're gonna receive anonymous cash gifts. You know, there are 3 different ways that you know how to orgasm too. Okay, so I mean, I picked that up. You know, if somebody wanted a threesome, they may be getting a threesome or something like that. So my thing is that I think that this person, okay. So my thing is, this person thinks that it has to be 3 people in order to find fulfillment sexually. So that may be a desire that they have. So that wish is coming true for them. Okay. Somebody, you know, it's kind of like they need 3 people involved sexually because they're just a lot. They feel like they can't give it to one person. But it's kind of like they have found that there's a person that's kind of just like them sexually. So it's kind of like, I thought that I needed multiple, but this one person has it all. They have all that I need. Okay. Somebody is saying, explain. Okay. When a woman is very spiritually powerful and she is in control, she has made a lot of sacrifices. She has had to really discipline a lot within her. And I mean, she understands the world. She understands masculinity. You know what I'm saying? So when a woman is so empowered spiritually, she has to kind of go without sex. You know? So debts must be paid. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's kind of like there are ways as to how she feeds that beast. It's kind of like instead of feeding that beast meat, she feeds that beast tofu, right? So it's enough to keep the beast full and satisfied. But there's nothing like a chunk of, like a big old juicy fat steak. You understand what I'm saying? So, she doesn't get that fat juicy steak, as her prime meals. Her prime meals are the tofu. So when she gets that steak, it's kind of like she savors it. At one point in time, if you were to feed her a steak, she would just gobble it up. So the secret is that it's like she's a retired man eater. You understand what I'm saying? You would never know that about her because she leads with her wisdom and her innocence and her strength and her honesty. God has prepped her well. This is what you call God's daughter. Okay? And she has a twin sister, which is Lilith. Okay? I'm just trying to break that down because it's kind of somebody is really, they're really trying to navigate through my brain with trying to understand something. So it's kind of like when it comes to a lover, she can't just lay down with anybody. So because she can't just lay down with anybody, she goes long periods of time with having to practice celibacy. Like she's dangerous. This man is dangerous, but he has not learned, you know, he doesn't, he's not fully aware of what his beast is truly capable of. She does. Okay, but he done slipped up in there and he done figured the shit out. So now he's intrigued. Now he wants answers. Now, it's kind of like he wants her. But you got to slow down. You got to be careful because, like, you are powerful, but compared to this woman, you're still fragile. You understand what I'm saying? You could lose your mind behind this woman. So it's kind of like, take your time. Take your time. Take your time, brother. Take your time. Okay? Because the thing is that if you are open and willing to letting her teach you, to show you things, to empower you in that way, I mean, it's kind of like she can increase your value. She can help you increase your value within yourself, how you see yourself, because I pick up that whenever you lose control, you feel bad for losing control. So she can help you maintain the control. And the thing is that you will become more desirable. So, you know, there's a lot of work that has to go into this, and if you have to have pure intentions, you have to have a pure heart, because with your sexual talent, you cannot be out here using that shit to gain what you want to gain from women. You cannot, or men, it don't matter. You can't be out here hurting nobody, because one day you gonna wake up and your shit not never gonna get up. You understand what I'm saying? It's very sacred. It's very precious, and it deserves to be held with delicacy. Don't be pimping out your shadow self, for fucking pennies, messing with these nickel and dime bitches. You understand what I'm saying? Because you can really pull in some quality women with the type of gift that you have. So, all right, now, is that it? Okay. And when it comes to sex, if you engage in sexual intercourse with somebody, please use protection. Use protection. When I used to be out there like that, motherfuckers was not using protection, and it was by the grace of God that, I did experience getting burnt, but I was okay. So, you got to use protection. If it's like that and you out here like that, you have to use protection. You have to use protection. You got to protect that beast. Stop treating it as if it's something bad. You have to love the whole of who you are. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Okay, so we have Sage here, right? So, my thing is that what you may not know about yourself is this what they don't know. So what you don't know about yourself is that you are a sage. It doesn't matter what you do, with what you're doing with your life. That doesn't matter. You are a sage. So when it comes to animals, that's how it's kind of like, I don't want to say that's how you study human behavior, but let's say that you're dealing with somebody and you're connecting to them spiritually, but you're not in their life. You don't see what they have going on, but you'll notice through the animals what's going on with this person, right? Because the sage has a monkey. The monkey is going to represent the trickster, right? This, excuse me, the sage has found the a very has found the trickster to be very useful, right? So you are so much more than what you realize. The power of a sage is, I mean, who are some great sages? You had Mother Teresa was a sage, I believe, I mean, shit, I can't think of them. But sage, they're real divine, sex is not just sex. Not for you. You are so much more than a fucking orgasm. You understand what I'm saying? The humans love their orgasms, but when you really learn what your sexual energy is capable of, you'll appreciate the sex too, but you'll start making life a lot better for yourself with learning how to redirect and rechannel your sexual energy. So, I'm not a man. So, I don't know anything about semen retention. I don't know if that is something that you are going to be interested in or getting into. I can't help you with that. You got to go to a man for that. You know, um, they're telling me to open up. No, it's, oh God. My God, my God. I always, people's sexual demons are always chasing me down. Like some people, it's like people who deal with like sexual trauma, people who deal with like maybe sexual embarrassment, people dealing with sadism, masochism, yes, I kind of like being humiliated, like I kind of get off on that, which is why I'm so good with being humble, which is why I have no problem with humility. It's so easy for me because I mean, it triggers me sexually. So when individuals be trying to when they be trying to do these humiliation rituals, they have no idea like how much they're empowering me, how much they're feeding that beast, like it's like, ooh, we get an extra snack. This is why I be trying to tell you, like, sometimes. And see, some men, they know it. And they think that they're just so big and bad. They think that they're just all of that. They think that, like they don't know how to use that dick. They don't know how to use their sexual energy. They think it's still all about that orgasm. And then they think about it's about how many orgasms. It's like, oh please. I can bust out 5 for you within the first 30 minutes. So it's kind of like, that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes we have it's big and it's dangerous and it's monstrous, and you have to love it. You have to teach it. You have to tame it. This is the self teacher. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I have had experiences to where I took the bus one day, and I mean, this man, he pulls out his penis and he starts masturbating right there next to me. You know what I'm saying? I go to the store and there's this man, he pulls up next to me, and I mean, he's watching porn on his phone. He got his phone hooked up to his rear view mirror. I'm walking past and there's this big abandoned truck, and it's got sex, spray painted big as day, just screaming at me. You know what I'm saying? So, you have to know, that's why you have to know who you are. You have to know the effect that you have on people, because you can really damage people out here. I'm a woman, so I be dealing with, these arrogant men with thinking, it's kind of like their perception around sex. It's just like, it's so low vibrational. I will step on you. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a giant and you're an ant. And that is the difference within our perception. You know, my sexual, it's sex, it's God. It's like God power. God don't be trying to deal too much with that sex shit. God, that is the creator. So, I've been on a journey to where, yes, God has shown me, God has taught me, my ancestors. I have very strong incarnations to a lot of sensual deities. Heru, Aphrodite, so I mean, my thing is that shit come with some struggle. And I have put a lot of work, a lot of hard work into myself. And I will never let anybody degrade the work that I have put into myself. That's why it's so easy for me to cut people off, because it's kind of like, you have no honor. You have no honor, you have no respect, you have no knowledge. It's like, you're like a little child, a little baby child. And you have no idea, you know, with the way that you think, the type of damage that you want to create. It's so cruel, it's crazy. You are royalty. Your bloodline, spiritually, you are royalty. So, you must get to know more of who you are. And yes, you are unafraid, obviously. You are unafraid of the darkness. You're unafraid of the umbria, we'll say. Okay, so it's like, the umbria is like the darkest part of the subconscious. You know how sometimes, like, if you're in a room, you cut the lights off, right? When you cut the lights off, what happens? Your eyes, after some time, begin to adjust to the darkness. Well, there is just some darkness that you're not going to see anything but pitch ass black. You have no idea what's what and what's there. This is a very scary part of human nature for people, but obviously you're not afraid, and you're curious about it, which means that you're being called. Okay, so it's like the deepest, darkest depths of the ocean is calling you. Okay, somebody says that he has favor amongst the sirens. Okay, so the sirens are the mermaids. Okay, so you may attract a lot of your sexual preference individuals. They know how to sing. You may be a singer too. Okay, it's song, you know. Ooh. Mm, 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 mm. All right, now that's all I got, honey. That's all I could tell you. That's all I could give you. You are a sage. You are the protector. The sage is the protector. You can you can disarm things before the shit even happens. You understand what I'm saying? So you are the protector. Ooh, somebody's mind is blown. So that means that you're waking up. This is a big awakening. Okay, so you must be awakening from the dark night of the soul. This don't feel like no kundalini. I don't think this is kundalini. You was in a really a dark place, you know. So you're waking up. This is a mass awakening for you. Yeah. So this is a dark night of the soul awakening. Okay. So the sage within is waking up. It's old. It's ancient. So you're gonna notice. I mean, a lot of shit is gonna change. Your body gonna start to change. Your way of thinking is gonna change. Your interests, your hobbies are about to change. There's just a lot of changes that you're about to go through. It's gonna be a slow process. It's going to be a slow process. So, you're not going to be bombarded. It's not going to be overwhelming, you know, throughout the journey. You know, you are a master of many. It's not just master of self. It's kind of like, I feel like I'm talking too much, but they just keep saying it's like you're a healer for the masters. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not about human beings. You're too much for human beings to comprehend. It's the masters. You are a healer for the ascended masters, the reincarnated ascended masters, the earth angels. I don't care who you are, what you do. You're about to go on this journey. So, I mean, be prepared. Okay. Okay. So, um, that's it. What's up? Oh, what? What? Okay, let's try to jump into the tarot a little bit here. Ooh, he want it all. He want it all. You ain't gonna be able to milk the cow, baby. You're gonna have to buy the cow. You understand what I'm saying? You ain't gonna be able to milk it. Woo. Mm. Okay, so we have some projection. You have the Chariot in reverse. You have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. So, I mean, I'm tired of talking about what other people are saying about you or trying to make you think, because the shit just is not working. Okay, so in the position of your crown, there's something here to where you're taking on a challenge or you're ready to take on a challenge. Okay, a challenging situation, but I do believe that it has something to do with your health too. So you may find yourself like eating differently or taking on different eating habits. You may even find yourself, this is also the card of the apprentice, but also in somewhat shape or form having to start over. Okay, so you have the Ten of Cups. These people over here have the King of Pentacles in reverse. They have the Six of Wands in reverse. You have the Death, letting go, and you have the Justice. All right, my guy. All right, and then you have the Nine of Wands. Yes. Okay, so Ten of Cups is going to represent completion. You have the Death card, transformation. Okay, letting go. The situation is dead and gone. It's over. It's time for new cycle. New cycles are opening, they are unfolding, new patterns, new pathways. Okay, so if somebody has to leave your life, let them go. Okay, you make it, getting rid of the old, shedding that old skin, you know, so that you can wear that new glistening beautiful skin. Okay, this is what you deserve. You got good karma coming. With the Knight of Wands here, you're gonna be this is kind of like you're gonna be hiding your happiness. You're gonna be very guarded. Okay, you're gonna be guarded. With the Ten of Cups, I feel like that's a person though. Like I said, it's like when you get somebody, when you get them, you're not letting them go. You know, you're gonna transform your expectations of yourself and who you are. So maybe you realize it's okay for you to be who you are. It's okay for you to be yourself. You know, you may consider yourself to be unhealthy for people, but it's not that. It's just that you're custom made, you know, and somebody is custom made for you. I understand it's very challenging. You know, a lot of individuals, this is when they start getting jaded in love because, you know, they begin to forget about their value. You know, well, I'm sorry, you can't just be with anybody. I'm sorry, you can't be just in and out of every pussy. You can't just be riding every Tom and Dick. You know what I'm saying? You're too much out here. You're too advanced for that. You're too much. You're you know, like cut it out. Stop playing. You know, you're you know, it's like being a big bully. You know what I'm saying? You're like a bully. You're a human bully, you know? But to whom much is given, much is required. So, you know, it's, you know, you've been bored. Your mind has been bored. So the devil's playground is a bored mind. So you just been out here just being silly. Okay. So the thing is that now, you know, with this transformation, you know, it's like there's a new sense of freedom within yourself that you can unleash, you can unfold for yourself. You know, I do pick up that you're very territorial. So, you know, you're going to be very territorial over somebody, or somebody is going to be very territorial over you, very protective. You know, you're going to be guarding this person. But remember, you know, you don't want to spend so much time protecting it instead of enjoying it. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes with being too guarded, um, it's like we're keeping ourselves, we're protecting the kingdom, but we're never in the kingdom. Don't forget what you're doing it for. You understand what I'm saying? It's nice to have people in your life who remind you of who you are, you know? I just pick up somebody is just like, oh no, you can't leave. You can't leave. You cannot leave me. You're not leave. Like, what do you want? What do you need? Like, and the thing is that, this person, they don't need really anything but you. You know what I'm saying? Not in a dependency way, but it's like you're the diamond. Like there's not another you. You are the most important thing. So, this person wants you to be okay. They want you to be good. You understand what I'm saying? You don't have to convince them. You don't have to bribe them. They know what time it is. Okay. Oof. Release me. Are we done? We're done. It's crazy, right? Because we leave off with the confirmation with the Three of Cups, right? So it's time to celebrate. You met the one. Okay. So, the Ten of Cups represents the happily ever after, right? So what people don't understand is that the happily ever after is just the beginning, right? So now that we have gotten to the happily ever after, we can move into the next threshold to where now things get real. You know what I'm saying? We know that this is where we're supposed to be. So now we can kind of get comfortable. We can start getting used to each other. When it comes to arguments, it's not going to be so personal. You know what I mean? We can settle in. Okay. All right now. Okay, so that's going to be the messages. So until the next time, we'll talk again. Thank you.